Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader, and it is Monday, March 19th. These are the charts of the day, all in alongside. I know I was going to cover the shorts, but there's so many longs we need to concentrate on. Until this market turns down, there's just no point. Alphabetically, we're going to go off with, start off with AFFY, which you can see Affamax, excuse me, which popped in December, pulled back, and then coiled, broke out again at the end of January, and then coiled again. What we have here the last few days is another coil that's broken out, pulled back, and then popped today 68 cents or 6%. Now, the volume is starting to improve here, and you can see if we can get out over the 12 range, I think 12, 12, 10 area, I think we can get this stock up to 14 short term. But anyway, the overall pattern looks extremely bullish. Antigenics, perhaps overbought and near resistance, so I wanted to point that out to you. The stock's gone from about 2 to 6.25 in the last 2.5 months. And if you take a look back at the weekly chart, you'll see that the long-term resistance up in this zone is going to be somewhat formidable, perhaps, and we will keep close tabs on that. Just above here, about 6.5, 660. Amarin. Very nice move in the last 4 sessions, as you can see. We've taken the stock from about 7 to over 11. And it went through 2 this zone of resistance, and it's almost got up to my target around 11.5, reaching 11.22 today before it backed off to 10.66. Now, best thing that could happen in here is a back and forth consolidation, and then a setup for higher levels. Beyond this area here, I can see the stock making a run at somewhere around, say, call it 13, 13.5. BLDR, I wanted to point out to you this very strong move has reached the top of this channel. So, and although volume's heavy here, and it could accelerate and blow through the top of this channel and get up into the 5-6 zone, I'm thinking more likely that it may back off and consolidate in here, but keep close tabs on this one. It's a very strong pattern, and volume is increasing on each move up. CALL continues to amaze as once the base was formed and the breakout occurred, a little flag formed here, and that stock's gone from 13.5 to over 27, doubling in the last 90 days or 3.5 months. It's right at the top of the channel now, so either it pulls back in the zone or we spike up into the 34 area. That's our next swing trade target. CKE, Carmike Theaters, explosive move last week, a pullback, and then we've been up 3 days in a row to new highs today. And my target now 14.25.5. CREE, maybe an important move today because if you see the declining channel, it took this all the way down from the 70s down to the high teens. Around 20. The stock has then turned it around and moved up from 20 to as high as 32.75 in the last 90 days, with today's move breaking across this line. And perhaps we're going to see a move that gets it up near 37 next. That's my next swing trade target. FRO Frontline, one of the stronger junior shippers. You can see the stock has an explosive move, taking it from 5.25 up to 9.5 just in the last week. Today it did back off sharply, though, from 947 to 828. Closed up 63 cents, but an 18 million share traded, so we may have had kind of a reversal day or at least a temporary peak. I'd look for some kind of consolidation here. FSYS had a significant day, perhaps. You can see this declining tops line, and this entire flag type pattern may have been broken with a pop of $1.73 or 6.7% as volume increased to 1.23 million, and we may very well see the stock move up to my next target around 31. FTK, a very nice little channel. You can see that longer term channel, very bullish. This intermediate channel has seen it go from around 4 to 13 and change. It pulled back, falling wedge breakout, tested resistance, pulled back to retest, tested resistance, pulled back in a little flag, and appears to be breaking out here. And today's move took it up through this lateral price resistance line. Let's clear that up a little bit for you. Okay, and you can see how that move today may have been a key breakout as volume increased to 3.1 million. And what I look for now is a test of this high up here around 1370, my next target. And beyond that, stock may spike into the mid-teens, perhaps even as high as 16, 16.5. IMOS, very, very strong move. It's taken this from this head and shoulders base and it's spiked it up from 5 to over 19 today. A tremendous move just in the last less than 90 days. So at this point, not only are we overbought and at the top of the channel, but we may see the stock consolidate in this zone. That's what I'm looking for anyway. If it does carry its momentum further, my spike target is up around 25.6. Imperial Sugar popped 70 cents or 14% today as volume increased. And if we can get any kind of follow through, I'm looking for a retest at a 7.25 area, followed by potentially something up around 8.5, 9. LF popped today, and I put out a swing trade on it. You can see the move that took it out across the entire consolidation of the last 4 or 5 weeks. With this parallel rising channel, my target now is up around 10, and we'll set that as and keep that as our swing trade. LGF also broke out of a flag today. You may very well see something near the top of this channel up around the 17 range as a potential target. MGAM, Multimedia Games, also coming out of a key consolidation over the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks, popped back for a couple days, and today popped again 49 cents or 4.5%. Its volume increased to the second heaviest since February. Oryx, hell of a chart to say the least, a strongly rising channel. This is what occurred when this flag was broken. You can see 5 or 6 days in a row of up. I still look for more upside closer to 5 3/4, 6. PWRD, 2 consecutive days in a row. Yesterday it popped with a gap. Today it followed through and was up another 55 cents. If right at resistance, if we can get through here, the next target around 19, 19.5. SEAC popped out of this little micro wedge today, 3-day wedge, and jumped 37 cents at 4.7%. Mine was 203,000. That's about not very heavy, but it's daily traded stock. You can see where resistance lies up around 8 3/4. That's my next minor target. But should we get through that, I would look for a move that maybe gets up to 10 and then 11. TA, the head and shoulders bottom, continues as a breakout occurred, and we've had 2 consecutive rising sessions. Looking for some resistance, perhaps at 6 3/4, 685 area. Through that, 8.5 is our next target. TSPT, significant day today, in my opinion, as this 3-day move took out that lateral price resistance, which is the across that line, multiple highs. At this point, I'm looking for a test of 11.5. TWER, tower pop, pull back, ran up to new highs today at 437. It's up from the opening gap at about 290 3 days ago. And my swing trade target was closer to 450, 440, 50. So we just got near that today at 437 and backed off. Still looking for more upside. And lastly is Vivas today, which had that big breakaway gap there about 3 weeks ago, and it pulled back in a nice little wedge. Today popped 88 cents or 4.35%. Volume increased to 7.23 million. And if we can get this to carry forward, I would expect to test at 24 short term. That's it for tonight. Tomorrow we definitely will go over some shorts. Good night.